everyone. Welcome to another episode of Give Me Back My Action Movies, the podcast. Of course, it's the podcast because you're listening to a podcast. We can't call it Give Me Back My Action Movies the Lego set because it's not. Charlie?
Can we get a Lego set?
Ooh, well, maybe.
At least minifigs. Can we get minifigs of ourselves?
We do need minifigs. We need to get those 3D modeled figures that you can get of yourselves now, like the
where they do like scans or something like that.
Yeah, the scans. You can get them for like D&D games and different things like that. We need those.
There we go.
I think those would be awesome.
That's the next big Christmas thing, I bet.
Give me back my network 3D printed figs.
Yeah, we get it for all the shows.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We can get little 3D printed Pete's.
Little Pete's, little sludges.
Get little tiny 6-packs for him.
Yeah. We can get little sludges with a guitar. We can get
little Nates with Nickelback shirts on it. He busted it out early.
Well, you mentioned Nickelback or Nickelback.
Nickelback.
What a dork. Anyway, everyone, thanks for listening to another episode of this rambling here. For once, you get an action movie episode. The horror movie group has been dropping 6 or 7 episodes a week for the last week or and a half or so, it seems like.
It ain't been that bad.
I was looking at the whole stream the other day this week, and I was like, all right, action, horror, action, horror. Wait, what happened? It's like you guys are trying to catch up already.
Well, we were trying to catch up, and then you hit us with the double feature last time. So, there's 2 technically.
I like doing that double feature, though.
I enjoyed that. Cool. I enjoyed that a lot. I really did.
Like I said in the episode, it was like going to Blockbuster. You can get 1 new release or you can get 2 older movies for the same price. And that's what we did.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that. And I'm probably going to steal it for the horror show, too. So, it'll happen.
By the way, I was in a used game movie CD store earlier today, and they had a VHS of Terminator. Almost got you.
What? Always get the action movies on VHS, man. Especially if it's like dirt cheap.
Yeah, I think it was like $1 or something.
Oh, Terminator's worth $1 no matter what. That's Betamax. Give it to me for $1.
I had a buddy of mine as a kid had a Betamax. His parents had a Betamax.
I think we rented one time, and that was the last time I remember a Betamax. Everything was VHS after that.
Big chunky bastard. Have you ever watched a Laserdisc?
I've never watched a Laserdisc.
I watched Star Trek II on Laserdisc once. A buddy of mine's parents had one.
I've seen Laserdiscs. I've held Laserdiscs. I have never actually physically watched a movie on Laserdisc.
Yeah, and it was Laserdisc on one of those front projection TVs where you had the red, blue, green, it shut up on the screen thing. Yeah, it was one of those. It was horrible.
Oh, it had to be.
It was the same people that they were friends of mine. They lived like 3 doors away from me. I remember playing in their basement around Christmas and seeing Delta Force for the first time at their house.
That's a good Christmas.
Because they had like HBO. We were in the basement playing. With
Battlestar
Galactica toys.
Stars was playing Delta Force 2 today, so I had that on in the shop.
Yeah.
Because today's Veterans Day, too. So
it is. Happy Veterans. As we record this, Happy Veterans Day. But as this is being dropped, this is our Thanksgiving episode.
This is our Thanksgiving episode. It's that now we're into these seasonal things now. It's just going to be rapid fire.
Exactly. And this is, so we thought long and hard about.
Kind of.
Well, okay, for us. We started talking about like, what kind of Thanksgiving movie can we do? And we went, I don't know.
Yeah, what action Thanksgiving movie is there? I got no clue.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. So then we're thinking, well, Next of Kin is about family.
Yes.
And Thanksgiving is about sort of family. Mostly for me, it's about gravy and stuffing and turkey. But
for me, it's family. We're all the family gets together. So this is a movie.
We try to avoid mine.
We do. That's why we adopted you. But
true.
This movie had family coming together, just not under the circumstances that are awesome, like Thanksgiving, but death.
True. And that Thanksgiving, death, same thing. So
turkey dies.
Dead turkey. So I feel like I die after I eat sometimes.
Yes.
So this movie, another reason. So Charlie and I hadn't seen it except. I think Charlie, you were saying what you only seen it maybe once, like on TBS as an edited version.
Dude, I seriously, I had glimpses of remembrance during this thing, and I'm like, I feel like I've never seen it all the way through, or I watched it edited, and it would have had to been like the early days of like TBS TNT on Granny's cable because they got cable before we did.
Well,
So
they were up on the mountain; they could actually get it.
exactly. So yeah, I had very faint memory of this movie, but I was like, I think I liked it. And we saw the pictures, we looked it up, and I'm like,
Yeah,
and they got bow and arrows and crossbows and sawed off shotguns. I'm like, yeah, let's do this one.
and then we watched it, and we
Yeah.
both went. We went. "Eh,
Uh oh.
okay, so there's action in it.
There is. There.
There's gunplay and there's some fight scenes and stuff, but it's a lot more drama and crime driven than it is
Yeah.
action driven.
But not. It's really not heavy on any of those things. It's not like heavy
Right.
drama. It's not heavy crime. It's not heavy thriller. It's not heavy action. It's just all of those things kind of sprinkled into it.
Yeah. So before you guys bitch and complain that this isn't a full on action movie, yeah, we know.
We're well
You te-
aware.
you tell us another action Thanksgiving movie, okay?
That's right. We'll save it for next Thanksgiving if we
And we will
remember.
do it next Thanksgiving. However, this movie did drum up a lot of nostalgia for Charlie and I, but not about the movie itself. So Charlie was born, raised, except for the time he was in Columbus and I met him, and lives now in the far mountainous corner of Virginia
Yeah.
near Tennessee, North Carolina, and Kentucky,
Yeah. We call that
and
Appalachia.
Appalachia, the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah.
And I lived there for a year down there, as a matter of fact.
Hmm.
My family, believe it or not, even though I don't sound like it necessarily, I do still say warsh and taters. My family is from that area, but of Kentucky, on the Kentucky side of things. And I was raised in Kentucky until I was 18.
Yep.
So, um, so a lot of this movie is about a hillbilly family. And when I say hillbilly, I mean they're from the hills, they're from the mountains.
This is not
We,
in the derogatory term that some
no,
people try to spin this. This is true hill folk.
yeah, and so they come from the hills and mountains and coal mine country of Kentucky, which, like I said, Charlie's in the middle of basically because he's on the Virginia side.
On the Virginia side, but mom's family comes from that
Oh
exact
yeah.
area, almost
Well,
probably right where they were talking about.
when I lived down there, we would do we helped build a house on top of a mountain. We had to drive to Kentucky to a plumbing house every once in a while to get plumbing fittings.
That's how close to the line we are on
Yeah,
this on the
we were.
state line.
That's right, exactly. Matter of fact, when I lived down there, I worked for a local radio station covering high school football, and we had a team from Kentucky come over,
Yep.
and the coach's last name was Collie.
Yep.
So I talked to him. Somehow we were related. Neither one of us knew how, obviously, but that's how close to Kentucky and the mountainous areas that the family from this movie takes place.
Yep.
So we talked a lot about before we went on air here about some of the feels of this movie, and then also watching it. It's like this movie was perfect because we do action movies. We have a rock action, theme song,
Hmm.
but we like this. So this this movie is the movie version of this music. So yes, if you haven't heard, that is a bluegrass version of Thunderstruck, which if you get a chance to look it up, I believe it's Steve and the Seagulls
Yeah,
who does
Steve and the
that.
Seagulls.
Yeah, look that up. That's fun.
I love that
It,
video.
yeah, it's pretty good. So Charlie, I want to go ahead and fire off the trailer. When we come back from the trailer, I want you to start talking a little bit about Next of Kin. You ready?
We can do that.
Patrick Swayze is Detective Truman Gates. He's a country boy,
We are gonna find Gerald's killer.
but he's got some unfinished business in the city.
Howdy. I want the man who pulled the trigger.
I don't like this, Joey. The family killed his brother.
A life for a life.
Amen. But they never counted on his next of kin.
If you mess with my brother, you mess with me.
Settle this now.
Anywhere we want!
When these boys head for the city, someone better head for the hills.
We ain't seen bad yet, but it's coming.
Next of kin.
See, even that trailer, I would have been like, I'm in. I'm 100% in. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah, to quote Hank Williams Jr., "A country boy can survive" is kind of
Woo.
the mantra of this particular movie, man.
Yeah, it
So,
is. Yeah, it is.
Charlie, do you want to try to give us a real quick little synopsis of it? I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't. Well, I don't have Nate's 3 sentence synopsis, but I think I can summarize this movie fairly quickly. We have Mountain Boy Patrick Swayze, who is playing Truman Gates. He's a detective in Chicago, and we'll dig into that why that's a thing here later.
yep.
But he left the mountains of Kentucky to, like a lot of us do, and wanted something better. So he becomes a detective. We find out his younger brother, Gerald, who played by Bill Paxton. Well, I can't talk tonight. Bill
That's all
Paxton.
right. Take another drink out of that bottle.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Um, yeah, we should be drinking some pretty good stuff for this episode. I'm telling you.
I know, right?
Is his younger brother followed him up there, not doing as well. Loads up vending machines with cigarettes and all these other things at all these bars. And we find out that the mob is trying to buy out this vending company. um, they end up killing Gerald, which now Patrick Swayze has to take his brother home. The family gets involved. They all want blood. They want the men responsible brought to justice, and that don't mean by the law. And Patrick Swayze plays a guy that he has to abide by the law. He's a detective. That's what he is supposed to do, and he tries his hardest um, until his older brother comes up to Chicago and causes all kinds of chaos. And older brother's played by Liam Neeson, and man, I love that character. He plays Briar, and we'll dig into that character here in just a little bit too.
Yeah. So this movie, first of all, like I said, we hadn't. It came out in '89, rated R, 1 hour 48 minutes. Let's see, let me scroll down here real quick. Came out October 20th or 22nd was the opening weekend, 1989. So as you're listening to this, if you're listening to it on launch day, we were real close to the anniversary of this thing.
Yeah, month off.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right? The budget was an estimated 12 million. Gross worldwide 15,942,628. So I made a few bucks.
Yeah,
Not bad. Some of the filming locations were in Chicago and Hazard, Kentucky, USA. But the one thing about this movie, because like you said, neither of us had seen it for a long time.
no,
Look at the cast lineup for this film.
yeah. I so let's just start at the top and go down. And I mean, there's no one here we're getting ready to say that we all don't know or haven't seen in a movie. Patrick Swayze, obviously, as Truman Gates, Liam Neeson as Briar Gates, Bill Paxton as Gerald Gates, all three brothers. And you know what? I buy it. I believe it when I see the movie.
Yeah,
Adam Baldwin as Joey, one of the mobsters. Helen Hunt is Patrick Swayze's wife, Jessie. Ben Stiller is Lawrence.
that's the one that really threw me off.
I was not expecting him in this. He
Yeah.
plays the son of the mafiosa boss, who was played by Andreas Katsoulis. Again, one of those guys when you see his face, you're like, oh, I know him.
Yeah.
He is this guy that just screams Italian mobster and stuff like that. Uh, a real small, like, I don't want to say cameo because he was starting out his career, but Ted Levine is really small part at the very beginning of this. One of the hillbillies that Patrick Swayze has to talk down from the apartment.
Was that the one that ended up stabbing the guy in the bar because they came after his wife or whatever, and he went and
Yeah,
got him out of the
yeah,
hotel?
he went up
Yeah.
and got him.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's Ted Levine. He was in the first Fast and the Furious,
Let's see. Ted Levine was in
he,
Silence of the
Silence
Lambs,
of the Lambs. He was,
Shutter Island,
yeah, Buffalo Bill.
and oh, he was General McGrath in Wild Wild West.
So you had him. You had Michael J. Pollard. He's my favorite character in this movie.
Yes,
I
and
love that guy in here.
so he is you would know him from Scrooged
Yes.
and Tango and Cash.
Yeah. He was also in I Come in Peace. His name was Boner in that one. I always like that. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
He fits that role perfectly, but
Yeah.
this is a stacked cast. This is
Yes.
stacked. And yeah, they probably all weren't the A-list actors that they are now, but the magic was there. The cast in this movie is fantastic.
Yeah. So this, and then later on when, the next of kin do show up, it's a bunch of actors that, you may have heard of, you may have not of, but it's a group of characters, and like I said, from, with Charlie being currently in the hills and, me growing up there in Kentucky, all these family members, we've seen them.
We've got family members just like this.
Yeah, we really do. So this movie, like Charlie was saying, takes place um Gerald so Patrick Swayze ends up in Chicago. He left home and joined the army and ended up in airborne. The airborne divisions of the army. So he ends up in Chicago and becomes a cop, and that's how Gerald gets up there. But Gerald wants to go home. He doesn't like it. He wants to go back to the mountains and the holler.
Yeah.
And before he can do it, he gets killed as Joey and the mob hit this truck.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about that later. It's probably my one thing I was a little irritated on trying to figure out in this movie. But the other
Well,
thing
go ahead. Yeah,
well, I can do it now.
yeah. Go
So
ahead.
we have Joey as the right hand man of the mob. It's Adam
Yeah,
Baldwin.
right.
He has to start taking around Ben Stiller's character Lawrence to teach him the family business
Because
because
he's
apparently,
the son of the mob boss, Papa John, from a first marriage.
yeah. So
Yeah,
basically, it's kind of like, hey, I got a kid. I kind of just found out about, so he's gonna be next in line, and obviously Joey's pissed off about that because Joey's kind of
yeah.
made himself a nice little nest. And so Joey Lawrence, huh, uh,
Whoa.
whoa, they and these other guys in two different
So
vehicles.
so Joey Lawrence and Blossom and
I gotta be careful how
Clarissa and
we
Six all show up, and
see. You got that reference.
I did. Yeah,
I
of
like that.
course, yes. Yeah.
But what was bugging me was these like top tier, apparently mafioso type characters are chasing down this box truck that has one cigarette machine in it,
Yes.
and the one guy's yelling at Bill Paxton to just pull over, give it to him, just give it to him, let's get. And Bill Paxton doesn't want to. He takes him on a chase. Kind of cool. Box truck. They're like trying to pit the box truck, and I'm like, no,
You're not going to pit a box truck,
no.
not even
I'll,
with
and
an '89 sedan.
I liked how believable that was because they were trying to crash into it, and that box truck wasn't moving. Um, but he's like running away, so he pisses Joey off. He drags Bill Paxton into the back of this box truck and shoots him in the head with a freaking 50 caliber handgun. And I'm like, it's one cigarette machine in there, one like box truck that these guys are. At first, you're trying to figure out what are they doing in there. They're You find out later that they're trying to take over this company of cigarettes and pinball machines and these nickel and dime machines, yet the mob boss Isabella is in like this posh mansion-esque kind of house.
Right.
He is respected by almost everyone in that area of Chicago. You tell he's like the head guy, maybe not quite a Don, but he's up there. But they're chasing down for a cigarette machine company.
Well, okay, so I thought about that too, and I'm the only thing I can think of that kind of makes sense, and it's a stretch, and it's never alluded to in the movie, but maybe the vending machines are a good front for other things, like, oh, we're going to go collect money and your collection money, or we're going to go collect this money out of this pinball machine and put some coke in there so you can sell it out of your venue or something, like, I don't know, something like that maybe.
It was
It's a stretch.
It's the only thing that I'm just like, I don't get in this movie because there was one other thing me and Dan straightened that out with a little bit of Google foo. Um, we can
Yeah.
dig into that in a second. But I was just totally like confused as to why this high ranking mafia boss, his left and right hand basically are doing this dirty work of knocking over a box truck with one cigarette machine in the back. And they even
What?
say that the business that had it all of a sudden called to have the machine taken away, so it was a setup. And I'm like,
Right.
"For what? What were you setting up?"
Yeah, I
Because there
don't.
wasn't intending to kill Gerald. They didn't know
No,
Gerald from anyone.
no, they just wanted to pull him over, boost the money or whatever.
Yeah, the $50 that might be in that machine from cigarette sales back in
Yeah, I mean,
1988.
yeah, yeah.
I that was the only thing that I really couldn't like stretch my brain around of. That's what we're going with. They took over a cigarette and pinball
It was pretty
warehouse.
stupid.
I just didn't buy it. Not for being mobsters. I'm like, I don't like that.
I do need to throw this out real quick. I,
Go
I
ahead.
should have done it at the beginning of the episode, and I forgot to do it. I need to put out a trigger warning real quick on this. Pete, at one time, they shoot and kill a lot of pinball machines.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
I'm
So
just
Pete,
letting you know
if
now.
you watch
If
this,
you haven't seen
there
this in a while, yeah.
I should have done a body count of pinball machines. I didn't even think of that because that would probably be higher than the actual body count in the movie.
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 pinball machines. So anyway, yeah, so they kill pinball machines. Sorry, Pete. Yeah, so they end up killing Gerald. He brings Gerald home,
On
and
a
the
train.
whole on a train, and the whole time, well, that's probably the only way you can get into town. I've been to
Oh,
towns like that. Yeah, oh yeah. So they, and the whole time Gerald is only there to make enough money to go buy a coal mine truck, because for those of you that aren't familiar, which I learned real quick when I moved to Virginia,
mm,
a lot of the coal mine trucks are either independent or small companies
yep,
that are independent contractors for the mines. They go to the mines, pick up a load of coal, take it to the processing area,
yep.
back and forth, or dump it in a yard, whichever,
It's wherever
wherever.
that
Right.
one's been sold to.
So, and as you're driving on the routes down there that are privately used, you will be behind and see 972 coal trucks on the way from your house in the morning to the job site in the morning,
Yeah,
and then on the way home as well.
yeah. That's our rush hour.
So Gerald is trying to save the money to buy a coal truck back home, and then he's going to get the hell out of Chicago and go back home, because the older brother, Briar, who's the oldest brother, wants him to come back home. He doesn't want him to be up there in the city. Don't like the city. I've been to the city. I don't like the city,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And wants him to go back home. And Gerald wants to go home too.
Well, he
He
misses
doesn't like it
family.
there in the
Yeah,
city. Yeah.
it's you get this thing that Patrick Swayze's character was probably, he went to the military. He's seen the world a little bit more than the others have. and he just had, there's always that one in the family that has that itch that I got to get out.
That
I
drives
gotta
the
go.
Corvette.
No, he didn't drive Corvette.
No, that was a Trans
That
Am.
It
What was
was a
that?
Camaro that
Oh,
Patrick
Camaro. Okay.
Swayze drove.
Okay, right on.
Lawrence drove the Corvette,
Ah,
the
that's right.
mob boss kid. It's Ben Stiller. Is that
Yes.
weird? The mob boss kid, Ben Stiller. Yes,
Yeah,
that Ben Stiller.
Zoolander was the mob boss kid. That was really weird.
It
Um,
was.
and so Swayze takes him back home. They're down there. And makes enough amends with Briar and the family, essentially, to be home for the funeral and everything else. This is really where the movie changed for me, and I
Yes,
think probably changed for you.
100%.
Because, and for me specifically, there's one scene where Briar picks him, his wife, Helen Hunt's character, and Patrick Swayze up. They're in the pickup truck driving down the road, and in the back is Gerald's casket.
Yep.
So my grandfather, who primarily raised me most of my life, was born and raised in that area of Kentucky. And when he died, in 94, we took him back home to bury him in the family cemetery.
Hmm.
The problem was the family cemetery is on top of a hill,
Hmm.
like most of everything
Like most are.
down there.
It's all hill.
So it's
That's
all
why
hills.
we're hill folk.
So the I was there with my dad and my uncle and everyone else, and the preacher comes over to us, the undertaker comes over to us, and he goes, "Hey, we got a slight problem. The hearse won't make it up the hill." So we're all like, "Okay, well," he goes, "So the boys that dug the hole have a nice new pickup truck. They're going to go down and wash real quick because it's all dirty and muddy.
Hmm.
They can get him up the hill because it's a 4-wheel drive. Do you mind putting the casket in the back of the truck?" And me and my dad and my uncle looked at each other and said, "Hell no, we don't mind. He was a truck driver for 40 years. Put him in the back of a pickup truck one more time." And there's a picture of me and my dad and my uncle and flowers and the casket in the back of a pickup truck, get ready to go up the hill to lay my grandfather to rest. And you see this scene, and for me, even though I haven't been home, except for another funeral, even though I haven't been home in many years, I left Kentucky and moved and been in a lot of different places. But as soon as I saw that, it didn't matter anymore. I remember,
It's
playing in the creek and eating pawpaws off the tree. And if you don't know what those are, look those up.
Yeah, just Google search that.
Hearing your parents yell at you in the summertime to come in, and gravel roads and all this stuff. I remember instantly really hit me hard.
So
And like
so
I hadn't lived in Kentucky since 93.
yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. So, well, I went back for a few years. I went back in 96 or 7, I think. And I was there until about 2001. But that was it, and I tell you what, that movie, when I saw that scene, it just reminded me of that and just
It's
hit me.
it's not often, we talk about these movies and how much nostalgia we have for action movies because we grew up watching them,
Yeah. Yeah.
living them. This one has that totally different nostalgia of that was home. The truck drive with the casket in the back, those roads they're driving down are roads we drove down. I still can drive down now. Everything you see in that movie, I can take you just down the road here and you can see almost the exact same things.
Those
Um,
scenes were filmed in Hazard,
yeah,
Kentucky.
but I
Yeah.
mean this. It's not just in Hazard. Virginia
Oh,
has the
oh,
same
oh, Lord, no.
uh, type
That's the
of.
thing. Yeah.
It's that's the hill folk. That's Appalachia.
Actually, so the opening scene, when you see the little town, the little area that the family's from,
Yeah,
and you see it again later in the movie, I watched that and I went, "That's Grundy."
Oh, it looks so much like Grundy.
The tall road, the top road, and then below it was a little bit of a secondary road up
Yep.
under the hill there, the ridge. That reminded me of being in working out in Grundy there with you.
Yeah.
And I watched, and I'm just like, you see anywhere in that area,
Hmm.
you see that scene because you're driving up hills and mountains and stuff off ridges, and you look down these ridges and you see scenes like this. There's a house right next to the house is a little house, and next to that house was an old barn that's now a house that someone else lived in, and no, there's a trailer down at the bottom that the other brother lived. It's all
No.
that's real. That is
It
100% real.
it's real, and the thing is, you watch this movie, and it's 1989 when it came out. Some of this stuff looks untouched from that time. It really does.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's not a bad thing. It's simple folk. They live their life a certain way, and I wouldn't change any of it. It's home to me.
Well,
This
hell,
is
what year was that when we worked out past Grundy? We were in oh hell, I don't remember
you
now.
say what year, but it was probably 2012 or 13,
12.
something like that.
What's the city out past Grundy there, where we were out there looking
Early,
at them bridges? Hurley.
early.
Hurley, Virginia, out looking at bridges to do a bridge job we were doing.
Yep.
And we were like, "Hey, is there anywhere is there a restaurant we need to use a public restroom, something like that?" They went, "No."
Nope.
We're like, "Isn't there a restaurant here or something?" They went, "There was one, burnt down."
Yep.
And literally, we had to use the employee restaurant at a Dollar General because they're everywhere. But
Mm.
there was no public
Nope.
restrooms. There was no public phones. There was no restaurants.
No.
There was nothing. There was a farm store that was not a branded farm store like a Farm and Fleet or anything like that,
Nope.
and a Dollar General.
Yep.
That was in a pole barn.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't one of those that's been built up lately. It was no that
And there's one way in and out of Hurley through a cut in a mountain.
literally.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, you see this in this movie, and you went, "I know that where that is in real life right now."
Oh, a lot of people probably know it hit national news this year. It
Yeah.
almost got washed away again, like really, really bad this time.
Ugh,
All
it was
those
bad that
bridges
one
that
time.
we were supposed to put that bid on for, a lot of those bridges aren't there now.
Well,
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that couldn't get out of their house then.
no, people were stranded
Yeah.
because the bridges was their driveway. We've
Yeah.
digressed a lot here, but this
Sorry. Well,
is
that's how this movie, but that's what this movie turned out to be
so
for
it's
me.
so I want to go and say, like, for a lot of people, I'd say this is probably the part of the movie that I don't want to say would bore them, but this is the part of the movie that some people are just like probably waiting for it to end.
Sure.
And this
Sure.
is the part of the movie that brought me back into it because, like we said, it's not this blow 'em up action movie. That this part of the movie stirred emotions for me, and I appreciate how they did this movie
Yeah.
to make it to make hillbilly not a derogatory term. You know,
Joey tries. Even the
now
mob boss does not.
no, he
Yeah.
always respect.
There's one scene in it, and I didn't download it because of the F bomb in it.
Yeah,
But Joey says something like "effing hillbillies," and the mob boss says, "I don't like it." He goes, "All they do is plow rocks for a living. They're nothing." And he goes, "That's funny. That's what they used to call us back in say about us back in Sicily."
yeah.
So he
It's
had a
same
level of respect.
yeah, same
Yeah.
type of upbringing and history. So I appreciate a lot. Now this movie's very, 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 very dated. Okay,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
when they depict the hillbillies, there are Confederate flags shown. They're on their
Sure.
tags. They're everywhere. They still are, and we're
Yeah.
not here to talk about politics or anything, but it is just
No,
part
but
of.
you're so they bring the casket home, and Briar, Liam Neeson's character, is standing there. They're all the males
Yeah,
of the family, basically. The grandfather, his brother, the cousins, uncles. They're all standing there, but Briar's standing there, and he's got a suit on. He probably owns one suit.
yeah,
The suit's there. He's got the tie on, and a worn ass hillbilly bill folded trucker hat.
Yep.
And Charlie and I were talking, we're like, we've seen that guy.
I know. I'm probably kin to the guy. I mean,
yeah, that's a legit thing. Sunday, put your suit on, wear your your ball cap to the church, take it off before you go in.
Yep.
When you're done, you put it back on when you leave. That is a look in a lot of parts of this country still, and I'm like, yep, that looks accurate.
he's literally around this area. He looks like one of the Rasnick boys. That's yeah.
Well, so the one boy with the hound dogs and the bow and arrow.
Oh, the bleach blonde haired kid.
He looked like Meaner.
He did look Meaner. What do they call it? Towhead.
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 Yeah, Towhead looked like the Meaner.
He looked like the drywaller Meaner, that Dan's best friend at the job.
This fella, I wish y'all could have been there with me for this guy. We're building this house. He comes up to me and hey man, you go fish? And I go, I do what? Fishing. I had to look at Charlie. Charlie goes, fishing. And I went, oh, fishing. Yeah, I go fishing. He goes, yeah, man, I go fishing. Yeah, how do you Meaner? And I went, you do what? And he goes, Meaner, you know, little fishies. And I went, minnows? And he goes, yeah, man, Meaners. I like the little Meaners. And I went, yep. This dude had glasses broke, scotch taped together, still crooked as hell.
Yep.
Bleach blonde hair, and talked like that. But I tell you what, he could drywall his ass off.
That was the most entertainment, was watching Dan and him interact on this job. He come walking into one spot and he goes, hey man, you got a baker rack? Dan's like, what? Hey man, buy a baker rack. What, Charlie? What is he saying? I say he's asking for the baker's rack. What's a baker's rack? And it's the scaffolding that rolls around on wheels. And I'm like, that's the baker's rack. Yeah, man, that's what I need. We're done with it. Go ahead. All right, thank you. Dan's just like, I'm from Kentucky and I couldn't decipher that at all.
And it was great because every time we'd see him, I'd go, hey man, I'm back. And just walk away. And I went, it's like a real life Boomhauer. This is fantastic.
Yep. So so when you watch this movie, if you haven't seen it and you see these characters, you're like, wow, these are some characters. Yeah. They exist.
They are real.
I can introduce you to them today.
They are real life. So, well, we've definitely diverged a little bit from talking about the movie, but actually, you know what? Hey man, that's how this movie ended up being for me. There was some cool action in it. The end specifically. The movie's made well. I think it's filmed well. The music's good. And when you watch it, you go, is this legit? And it's from my standpoint, you know, I was born in 76. I remember the 80s in Kentucky. Yes, it's pretty accurate. And, you know, and then, you know, but the movie itself, like you said, it's the feels of
home.
For me, being a kid and being home. Yeah, kind of thing. So
I say we do a commercial break real quick, and then we can actually talk about the action part of this action movie.
Yeah, we will talk about that, and we will explain why there's hillbillies in Chicago.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, all right. Hanging with us. We'll be back in just a minute.
Welcome to the Monster Movie Stomp Down, where twice a month we review monster movies from all corners of the planet. Join me, Sludge.
And I went to watch it the other night, and she's like, why are you watching this? You can quote this movie line for line. That's very accurate.
My co-host, Mark.
Don't ask me to do a stomp down on this because it's zero.
Okay, dude. Ruben, what's your stomp down rate?
And our brother from Texas, Ruben.
It's just, I'm like, wait a minute. They tricked me into watching this.
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
As we give you the history, our review, and the stomp down rating of some of the best and worst monster movies around. Available through the Podbean app, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Amazon. Make sure and check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Just how drunk are we gonna get Welcome to Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, where each month we drink finely crafted brews while watching terrible films in order to see just how drunk you have to get to enjoy them. So tune in and join Troy.
Kill more Krites.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Dave.
I have the weirdest boner.
And Pete.
IPAs are ales, meaning they are bottom fermented. Excuse me, they are top fermented. I that up. Try that again.
As we drag Kathleen,
Hear me.
kicking and screaming through an alcohol-fueled podcast dedicated to movies of questionable quality and the frosty adult beverages that help make them tolerable. Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. Clearly, it's the beer's fault.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his times in the territories with PG-13 to his times in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Available now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all major podcast formats.
All right, folks, we're back. Charlie.
I just have to say, speaking of family, Jimmy is my cousin. He knows all the other people I know and is related to the same people that I've been talking about.
Yes. Yeah. It's legit. We're not even joking. It's not a bit. It is legit. Charlie.
Yeah.
This movie, when he goes home and has it out a little bit with Briar, I'm going to play the clip and you can hear Patrick Swayze talking to Liam Neeson. Listen to Liam Neeson's accent.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to leave these plush accommodations either.
At least it's my place. I still own the land it sits on. Can open the door in the middle of the night and take a piss on it if I want.
Yeah. I was really worried of what his accent was going to be like for this movie. It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad.
I like his. I like how Patrick Swayze's is more muddled. You know, it's there for certain things and then it's not. So it means he hasn't been home in a while. And I know a little bit about that, getting the muddled dialect to where I go to Columbus and I look like, anytime I talk, people look at me really weird, calling tomatoes maters and potatoes taters.
Taters, yeah.
And then after 10, 11 years, go home and they're like, you sound funny. And now I go back to Ohio and they're like, you still sound funny. And like, now I just sound funny to everybody.
Well, that's what happened to me. I moved to Virginia, got a station at a radio station, got a job at a radio station.
Station at a radio station.
I know, right? That. Got a job at a radio station. Station. Ended up working the county fair, did a break with another guy who, by the way, was Mr. Excitement. Thanks for listening to us here at the Russell County Fair. I mean, Mr. Excitement.
Yeah.
And I come in and do my thing, and people walk up to me and go, you talk funny. Where are you from? And I'm like, oh, Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, Columbus-ish. Really? You sound funny. I'm like, well, my family's from about an hour and a half that direction, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you sound like that? Well, because
I've lived in Columbus the majority of it.
Yeah. Now, whereas if I go home or I go back down there, I will start picking it up again.
It happens.
And then I get yelled at, but I still say warsh and taters.
Dude, there's some stuff that will never leave your dialect. No. My dad is from New York. He's lived since 1983.
Well, since he got out of the Army. Yeah.
So, he got out of the Army. We did live down here a little while. Then they moved to New Mexico when I was born for 3 years and then came back. So, yeah, not quite 40 years. Dad's lived down here, and he still kind of has a little bit of that New York, upper New York, not New York City.
Your dad sounds pretty hillbilly, though.
He does now, but every once in a while, they'll still be like, that's not something a hillbilly would say. Dad still has some of that northern dialect every once in a while.
The hillbilly in me came out at lunch today when I had a fried bologna sandwich and bean soup.
Yeah, you made me hungry talking about that. I was like, man, you went all in. You went full immersion for this episode.
I did. I was looking at the menu, and the place is known this little mom and pop joint. They're known for coney dogs and gyros, and I looked at it and I went, I got fried bologna and bean soup. I'll have the fried bologna and bean soup, please. And everyone else looked at me. I went, what? And then there was this old guy in like a business, kind of like a soup, sitting there eating. He goes, well, I'm from West Virginia and I like bologna sandwiches. I turned around, looked at him, and said, all right, buddy, me and you go be all right, I think.
Ain't nothing wrong with a nice thick slice of bologna fried up on bread, man.
It was good too, man. I'll tell you. Anyway, let's get back into this movie here.
Yeah,
the
we're
action
talking
movie.
about a movie today.
Yeah, I guess, kind of.
Hey, it's
All
our
right,
show,
so-
man. We can talk about whatever we
Yeah,
want.
I have the microphone and it will do whatever the hell I want to.
That's right.
So he goes home and everyone down there, eye for an eye, ash to ashes, tooth for a tooth,
Yep.
And he keeps trying to tell them all, hey, look, the police have to handle this. I'm a cop. We can't do this. You have to let him. We're going to figure it out. He's going to stand trial. It's going to be the right thing. And they're all like, yeah, it's going to be the right thing. We're going to put a bullet in his ass and just take care of it and just deal with it. So, go home. He goes home. So while he's down there still, though, the family, and this is real honest, the family treats Helen Hunt kind of as an outsider because, well, she is, even though she's married to Gerald. They treat her a little bit like an outsider, even though she's, they treat her nice. They treat her fine. But
it's
a little bit of standoffness still.
It's the first time they've met her. Her and Patrick Swayze obviously have been married for a little while, but he hasn't ever gone home. They are accepting of her, though. I have to say, it's
sure.
It's how
It's
we
family
are.
Still. It's still canon.
Yeah, and I loved how Briar was kind of the first one to go up and talk to her about thank you for how you treated Gerald, the younger brother, to make him feel at home in your home.
Yeah.
I love that because that's exactly what it would be like. Look, the women of the area are always the not as talkative to the newer people. I don't want to say stranger, but she was essentially a stranger.
Sure.
And they're, I won't ever say meek because most of them women could break you in half if you looked at them cross-eyed.
They whoop the hell out of you.
They'd take a piece of kindling to you and break you. But it's their way. So it was never a form of offense to Helen Hunt. It was just kind of, and even Helen Hunt's a little bit like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm fish out of water completely.
Sure, yeah.
But it was believable. So and that's where I'm going to come back into this going.
Absolutely.
How well everyone did this movie. I was like, yeah, I can introduce you to someone that kind of felt that same way. I'm married to her. Bringing her home the first time, driving down the 4-lane, and a truck come running up beside us because in the passing lane, and somebody hanging out the window yelling, "Hey, Charlie!" and kept going. And Jackie's like, what was that? And I'm like, that's my cousin Jared. That's legitimate. Hand to God. That's the first time Jackie met my cousin hanging out the passenger side of a pickup truck hollering my name because he knew my truck. And that was Jackie was Helen Hunt at that moment right there.
Yeah, but what broke the ice, I think, for him though is they, some lady finally asked her like, "How did you meet?" And they're talking a little bit, and she was like, they're like, "Oh, he says you play the fiddle," and she's like, "Yeah, I teach violin." So they send a little girl in the house, and she brings out a fiddle or violin. And Helen Hunt plays it as a violin, even though it's tuned like a fiddle.
Two different instruments. We need to let people that don't understand that.
They are.
They may look similar, and I think could be played.
They're played similar,
oppositely, but they are actually two different instruments. And she plays
classical violin on it, and everyone in the holler can hear it, obviously.
Yeah. You can hear everything in the holler.
Oh, yeah. But at the same time, it was different to them and it was foreign to them, but they appreciated it and they could appreciate that it was music.
Yeah.
And music is a common language. It didn't matter. They understood. She knew music. They know music. It was an understanding.
It was a bonding moment. It
It
really was.
was.
I
Yeah, it was
liked it.
really good.
I did like the part though where she goes, "How did you two meet?" And Helen Hunt goes, "In church," and all of the women went, "He went to church?" And she's like, "No, he was investigating a robbery." And they're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Oh, oh."
Oh,
So
okay.
you
Yeah.
know he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
these are church God fearing people, and they were even like, Truman went to church?" And she's like, "No,
Yeah.
no, he was investigating a robbery."
Yeah. So even though it's a notch in the Bible Belt, some people there still don't go to church.
No, some people don't, but you could tell though that
You
this
know.
was a God fearing part of the
Oh yeah,
family.
absolutely.
I mean, they
And
had all that stuff, but God
yeah.
fearing yet will kill you when you mess with our kin.
Well, I mean, Old Testament's very vengeful,
Yes, it
eye for an
is.
eye, So, um, so he goes. They go home
Hmm.
basically at that point, and Briar's not satisfied with the fact that he's going to go up there and do the law. Briar wants to go up there and take care of
Mountain
things.
justice.
So he drives up and stays in the same Hillbilly Heaven Hotel. Now, this brings us to the point: why in Chicago is this taking place? Why is there a Charlie was like, "Well, what's with Little Kentucky being in
That's
Chicago?"
that's what I called it. I was like, I don't
Yeah,
understand where Little Kentucky came from in Chicago.
right. We didn't either until we did some googling and find out that Chicago was a huge area of immigration from the South. So we were looking, and this comes courtesy of newcity.com, and it talked about how, for example, in 1972, a lady named Carol Harris moved up. Her and her husband moved up from Alabama and started a country bar. And it goes on to say the hillbilly presence overlapped uptown, probably ranging from Sheridan, which is mentioned in this movie,
Yes, it
on
is.
the east side to Ashland, which is a part of Kentucky.
Yes,
Probably
it
made it feel a
is.
little bit like home. On the west, Addison, south to Foster on the north. They also had concentrations in Lincoln Park, Lakeview, and Baumanville neighborhoods. In fact, records show that in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, as many as 400,000 African Americans migrated to Chicago from the deep south, like Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And an estimated 70,000 whites also settled in Chicago after the Korean War. These migrants came from the Mid South mountainous regions like North Carolina, Kentucky, Eastern Tennessee, and West Virginia. So the area is known as Hillbilly Heaven, especially in 1988 when this movie's supposed to take place, basically, because it really happened.
Yeah, there was an
The
actual place. Yeah.
Yeah, this says that the neighborhood even had its own version of the Hatfields McCoys, which, by the way, my grandmother on my mother's side is a McCoy. The Corns and the Tates would fight each other, in that area. So when you see this, we were like, why in the hell is it Chicago? Because it happened. It was legit. Um,
Yeah, one of the first interactions we see of Gerald, or not Gerald, but Truman, was he goes to talk down a guy that had stabbed someone in one of these little like flop house looking places. And to talk him down, he starts talking about home in Kentucky. They're in Chicago, but he's talking about the mine that got shut down that the guy got laid off from. He's talking about the holler that he went hunting on. And the guy's like, I know exactly where you're talking. I know your people. I know all this stuff. And I'm sitting there going, I like the interaction. This is the part with Ted Levine. I really liked how he did this. But I'm also going, why is there a little Kentucky in Chicago? It didn't make sense till Dan looked that up. And I'm like,
yeah.
this is legit. This is like, and it's weird because when I moved to Columbus, I was doing remodeling construction. A lot of people I met when they would obviously hear my voice, they were like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, Southwest Virginia. And they're like, "Oh, were you near Roanoke?" And I'm like, "I'm only like 2 hours from Roanoke." She goes, "That's where my family's from." And another person would be like, "Oh, we're from like War, West Virginia." And I'm like, there's just this main artery that connects the southern Appalachia to these other not huge metropolitan like, New York City or Washington D.C. No, we went to like Cincinnati, Columbus, and apparently went to Chicago, and I had no
Yeah.
idea.
I know, it's pretty wild. I was watching and we looked it up and I was like, "Holy, well, this movie's fairly accurate in a lot of
And honestly,
regards."
it was one of my small complaints because I didn't understand it because I felt like they put it in Chicago because of the mob aspect of it. I was like, okay, so they needed the mob, so put it in Chicago. That's just kind of like that was very stereotyping. I thought they were doing. But in all
Sure, yeah.
reality, they did their homework. They were like, this is a legitimate thing that could have happened, from, Kentucky to Chicago.
Yeah.
I learned something. Hey,
You know, when Gerald gets up there too, he's got his shotguns and he's got his pistol and
Briar.
stuff. And Briar, rather, sir, thank you. He gets up there with his shotgun and his pistols, and he infiltrates this vending machine company, trying to find where who killed his brother. He knew his brother worked for this company,
Yep.
and he was trying to find answers, and that's when he murdered all the pinball machines.
Sorry, Pete.
You know, so he's causing all kinds of racket and hell, and the next day, that's when Patrick Swayze's character shows up, and he's like, "Well, I see y'all met my brother Briar," and
I
because
like that.
he knew what was going on at that point.
He's
He knew he was coming.
he's grinning like a Cheshire cat when he walks in there, and you're just like, yeah, he knows Briar's in town. And
Yeah.
I really, really love that whole interaction because he's just very like, well, it looks awful bad. And he goes, I hear you don't want to press charges. No, no, we'll take care of it. Oh, you'll take care of my brother. Whoa, we didn't say it was your brother. And then the dum dum character of the mob guys, who I thought was hilarious,
Yeah.
he goes, I told them because they asked me who did it. I was like, oh my
Yeah. So he's up there now trying to figure it out, and
And look, they know who did it.
yeah, they
Truman just
figure it
has to
out.
prove it,
Right.
even though he knows pretty much that Joey was the trigger man.
Right.
He finds out that Lawrence, though, was in the truck when Joey killed Gerald. So there's also throughout this whole thing, there's butting heads of Joey and Lawrence, the mob guys. And you get the feeling that Joey's going to screw over Lawrence pretty soon, and he ends up doing it. I thought that was actually pretty freaking brutal for the way the
Yeah.
movie was going. I
Yeah.
was impressed.
They so yeah, they break into where Briar's staying, take his shotgun that he had up from one of the floorboards,
Mhm.
and they go out with Lawrence, and Joey kills him and burns him alive, burns him down and all this
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
sets him on fire and everything, but leaves some of the shotgun shells, and the back of the shotgun shell where the primer is says like Ashland, Kentucky or something on it. And
I
it's
didn't
like,
understand that
the-
either. I don't
I
think
guess
there
'cause
was.
they're supposed to be made at a bullet manufacturer, shell manufacturing company from Kentucky, which I guess would make sense that they would get shells locally that way or whatever. But it was a MacGuffin for sure
Totally
to just
was.
prove that. And they're telling Papa John, the main mob boss, and he's like, they keep calling him Papa John. And he's like, kill him with a large pepperoni with extra cheese. And and then Shaq's like, this is my shakaroni. And I went, what's going on now? But at the whole time, like Patrick Swayze knows what's going on. He knows Papa John is responsible for all this because he just bought the company. So he goes and has a talk with him. He's like, hey, this is what's happening, da da da. And Papa John, he's making, sauce and noodles and stuff.
He's doing exactly what you think, the Italian American,
Hey,
Sicilian guy.
bibbidi spaghetti.
He goes into a room with a bunch of guys playing poker, but there's no money on the table.
A boxing gym.
A boxing gym. And, Isabella, his last name, Papa John, is back there in an apron and all this other stuff, carrying plates. But, he's the guy that knows how to cook the good, like the little caterpillar robot from Runaway.
No,
you
with the
know,
gabagoo.
the gabagoo. We got to get the salsa just right. Mwah. Sorry, it was in the movie.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So he this is a little clip here after he's been talking to him, and it's just bad. This is a pretty hard ass clip.
Hey, Gates. Truly sorry about your brother. Too bad.
Oh, no, sir. We ain't seen bad yet. But it's coming.
He gives him that like sly look, and we already know what's coming. You know, hell's coming from the hills, and they're bringing everything they got. But I did like the interaction between the two of them, and like we talked about earlier, even though he's kind of accusing him of calling for this hit or whatever, there's still a level of respect between the two of them, and that's actually important as the movie goes on as well. Which isn't much longer. We got to dive into this.
Sure.
Briar comes in and causes a bunch of chaos. They frame him. Truman has to like now find Briar and almost kind of like patch things up between the two of them because they've been butting heads since he got into Chicago because of the lack of work that he thinks Truman's not doing. And he takes him home. So he stays there with Jesse and ends up leaving him there the next morning to go out. And I think that's when he does the interview with
I think so, with Papa
John.
Yeah.
So
he
Briar
interviews with Papa John trying to get a job as a driver.
And so Briar leaves and basically goes out on his own to take everything down.
Hillbilly Punisher style.
Hillbilly Punisher style. That's actually really, I like that. As it comes through, and then around the middle of this is when Lawrence gets killed by Joey, and Papa John gets pissed off. No holds barred.
So no more Joey Lawrence?
Nope, just Joey. Lawrence is dead.
No more Joey Lawrence, and now Papa John's is pissed?
Papa John's is mad, man. Real mad.
They mad? Yeah, real
mad. And then, were you confused?
No.
With what they did to Helen Hunt's character once he like says go after Briar and all of them? Because I was really confused why they bothered. He sent Joey. She comes outside and he throws what she calls paint, but I swear it looked like tomato sauce. I totally thought it was tomato sauce.
Okay, so I understand they're probably trying to send a message or something, but it was pretty dumb.
It was.
It was pretty dumb. And how'd they know where he lived?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And Joey, she turns around. He throws this like plastic cup of red stuff. I thought it was pizza sauce. She said she thought it was paint. And he goes, basically, Papa John says hi. And
she went, but I'm a Domino's person.
Exactly. It was the Pizza Wars. I think it was just to get Truman riled up, but I was like, it just made no sense. Because what they do is they go after Briar. And that's really what sent Truman off. Not so much that they threw paint in his wife's eye, that it was they went, and end up kind of killing his brother here in a little bit.
Yeah, so Briar goes to the vending company, but it's a setup. They're waiting on him. Yeah.
Again.
They're waiting on him this time, and he takes a couple of them out, but in the process, they kill him. Now, before he left, he had kind of befriended the guy his favorite character, the guy that runs the flop house, Harold.
Harold, man. Harold.
And they end up, and he tells Harold, he goes, here's a number. If anything happens to me, call this number and tell them what happens.
Yeah.
Which happens to be an actual Kentucky phone number. It was not a 555 number. It's a legit southern,
still active Kentucky number.
Southeastern Kentucky number. We should call him, put him on the show. so he goes, he does all this stuff, and he gets killed. Harold sees it on the news, and he makes the phone call, and they pick up at the little country store.
It was the general store.
The little general store there, and he picks up, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a friend of Briar's. He told me to call you if something goes wrong," and tells him, and he's like, and the old boy down there, he goes, "All right, thanks, friend," and hangs up. The next scene you see basically is they're loading shotguns, bows and arrows. The wives are making sandwiches and thermoses of coffee, and the grandfather's sitting there just going, "All right, gotta be with you, boys. Gotta be with you, boys." And they're loading up.
He's
The
blessing them
family is
all.
loading up
And
to
I
take care of business.
love, love the Snake Man.
The Snake Man, you gotta be a cousin.
The Snake Man has to be a cousin or just somebody they met. And I love that they're all getting ready to load up. And he goes, "I got plenty of room in mine." And everyone's like, "Hell no, hell no." Because he's driving a school bus full of snakes.
Full of snakes.
Full of snakes.
Yes. So
that's my second favorite character in this movie.
Yeah. So now they are headed to Chicago. While all this is happening, now, Gerald finds out what happens with Briar.
Gerald's dead.
Damn it, I keep doing that. Patrick Swayze, Truman. He finds out he's dead, hands his boss his badge, and says something about oh, I'm just going to, he goes full country.
Yeah. And essentially his captain's like on his side. Like, I know it's a setup. He goes, "I know your brother didn't actually kill the Lawrence kid." He goes, "I get it. We just can't effing prove it." And Patrick Swayze's just kind of like, "Well, that means that the law can't help anymore." And he hands in his badge.
Right. And so at this point now, they set up for the showdown in the cemetery between Joey's little goon squad, and Patrick Swayze. Now, unbeknownst to Joey, though, one of the goon squad has now been bugged by Papa John's consigliere.
Yes,
his right hand.
Good use of that. Yeah,
you like that?
I did. I was expecting you to say like attorney or something, but consigliere is the correct.
How many Leongs do I get for consigliere?
I think that should get one Leong on its own right there.
So because he knows Joey's a prick, so he gets Joey talking about how he killed
Lawrence.
Lawrence. I didn't want to say Joey. I didn't want to say Lawrence. Right?
Say Joey Lawrence.
Joey Lawrence. Whoa. So he gets out on tape, and and he's like, "Okay, I've got the proof now. I'm gonna nail this little prick to the wall."
And they take it to Papa John.
So during the cemetery fight scene now, there's machine guns, there's shotguns, there's pistols, bows and arrows, crossbows,
and a crossbow, and then in a little bit, a couple more weapons.
Yes. So Patrick Swayze's there fighting them all by himself, hiding behind tombstones and this and that, and shotgunning people and bow and arrowing people, and he finally gets to the point where he
gets
kills a guy, but a guy, as he's falling, he does the 80s, I'm still going to shoot you, thing.
Yeah, the gun kept going off as he fell.
Hits him in the leg, so now he hobbles off to behind a tombstone, grabs his bow and his crossbow, and at this point, he's pretty well screwed. He's behind a tombstone. They're starting to close in on him, and then all of a sudden you start hearing, whistling and
bird calls and
dog hollers.
The cat meow. I was trying to figure out the cat meow.
And at that point, he turns around and looks and smiles because he knows his family's there. That's all.
The next of kin has arrived.
And they all start shooting shotguns and everything else, and they get up to him, and he's like, "Well, I'm happy to see you all." And then all hell breaks loose because now the mobsters are getting shot with shotguns and throwing axes.
Yeah, one dude catches it in the chest with a hatchet. It was great.
Two blue tick hound dogs are chasing the one guy up a tree.
I love that.
So the one guy gets stuck in the Snake Man's bus with all the snakes.
Harold's
there with them at this point.
They stopped at the flop house, and they go to Harold, and they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Are you Harold?" He's like, "Yeah." And the next thing you see is Harold riding in the Snake Man's bus with a
Riding
grin on his
shotgun. Yeah.
face, and he is here during the shootout, and I couldn't be happier. I was so
Oh,
tickled that Harold was involved.
it was so good.
It
So,
made me so
oh,
happy. I loved it. That gets an Al Leong on its own.
they're all fighting there at that point, and basically Joey now is squared off against Truman, and they end up getting Toe Jam or whatever the hell that one meaner's name was. What was that kid's name again?
I don't remember his name, but it was
Towhead or
the
something.
toe-headed kid.
Yeah,
That means
whatever his name.
blonde, not anything derogatory.
Towhead. Yeah, they grab Meaner, and so they're going to kill him if Patrick Swayze doesn't chill out.
Yeah.
So he chills out, and then Papa John shows up with his boys finally, and Papa John's like, "All right, Joey, get away from him." And Joey walks away, and Papa John's like, "All right, we're going to end this." And then he goes, "This is for my son," and blah 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 blah, and shoots Adam Baldwin, who Animal Mother kills Animal Mother real quick from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, just as he turns to look at him, like, and then
Yeah.
realize, oh, I'm about to die.
Yeah,
So I was like that.
Boy, I'm effed. So he shoots him, and then after all that, they show a scene where him and Patrick Swayze together, and he was like, "Hey," he goes, "I really am sorry about your brothers. There's
This is over between our families.
Yeah, our families are done, right?" And he goes, "Yes, sir, they are." And he hands him back
A pocket
Gerald's
knife.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gerald had. And
Joey
he goes, "I
took it from
believe-"
Gerald.
Yeah, and he goes, "I believe this is yours." And he grabs it. He goes, "Yes, sir. Our families are, we're good at that point, essentially."
Yep.
And then Patrick Swayze, he quits the police department, and him and Helen Hunt run off to have some baby that was a side story in the movie.
Yeah, she ends up pregnant, and that, yeah. And other than he gets to tell Briar he's going to be an uncle, it was kind of that brother bonding moment to get them back together a little bit. That's
Well, and
really all
also
that
talk
was.
about how they beat the shit out of each other a couple times.
I did like that too, because that's what brothers did, and beat the hell out of each other.
So, and then Patrick Swayze obviously shot in the leg.
Yes.
And, that's pretty much
That's
pretty
it.
much next to kin.
That's the end of the movie.
That's pretty much next to kin, right?
It really is. And yeah, we've kind of droned on about a lot of stuff that wasn't next of kin, but more our kin.
Well,
but that's what happened in this movie. It dredged all that up.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, we're talking about the movies. We're not talking. I mean, movies are supposed to mean something to you a lot of times.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
And that's-
popcorn movies where you just turn off your brain and you watch, hey, he's shooting that guy with a machete or whatever. Yeah.
Machine machete. I
you
like
watch
that. Can
things
we
like
make
that.
that? I want to see the
Yeah.
machine machete.
Yeah, you can probably make one.
Is
Have
that
the
like
old
a
man make one.
Gatling gun that shoots out machetes?
Yeah, have the old man make one probably.
There we
out of the
go.
back of a pickup truck.
No, but
So-
even those type of movies are stirring an enjoyment. They're stirring
can.
some
Yeah,
kind
for
of thing.
sure.
And this one, yeah, on the outside, I would be like, yeah, this ain't even close to an action movie based on what we call action movies that we would normally review.
Sure.
And I can even say that I'm sure a lot of people are gonna, if you take our recommendation to watch this and they go, yeah, I see what you're talking about, but I have no connection to that. And it's like, I get it. Because guess what? You didn't grow up in that. You probably have
Right.
what I think the biggest thing to take away from what me and Dan were just talking about is what you see in this movie is a true, actual interpretation of a lifestyle that's still lived in this country. And while we're looked at sometimes as the dumb or the uneducated, that's the stereotypes I talk about that they did not do in this movie, and I was thankful for. But I take, I don't like it when people think about that part of our part of the country like that.
You take offense.
Offense. I don't know why that word didn't want to come
Well,
to me.
it's because you're a dumb hillbilly.
You son of a bitch.
Burnt him. But you're right. It's like
I look
this
like
movie.
Lawrence.
Yeah, good job there, Joey. Whoa. This movie was. I mean, it's a good movie. It was made well. It was filmed well. The action sequences are good.
I liked it. I think the hatchet was the one thing that was a little goofy to me because it
Yeah,
was
a
just
little
it
bit.
was one of those
But
oh,
they're
it's
throwing.
in me.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good flick. Like the flick.
Oh, solid movie. I will watch this again. This is probably
Yeah.
going to be one. I watched it on Amazon, so it was a pretty clean cut.
Yeah, I rented it on
I had
Amazon.
to
Yep.
rent it.
Yep.
I don't know where it was elsewhere, but
Nowhere.
I think it still kind of suffered from the bit too polished at parts, especially when they tried to do the dreary parts of Chicago. Now, how it was lit up
See,
in the
I watched it on.
Appalachia, I was
I
like,
watched it on my computer screen. You watched it on a big TV.
there is a difference on that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was still pretty happy with the transfer.
Yeah.
It looked good. They
Yep.
didn't over polish it. Just in some things get lit weird. Um, I would recommend to anyone to watch. I would recommend anyone that is curious about that lifestyle or even just a glimpse. This was a pretty accurate depiction of life there,
Yeah,
in the hills.
and if for some reason you got a murder boner against pinball machines, watch this for that too.
Absolutely. If you love absolute chaos against pinball machines, I'm really regretting I should have done a body count of that because like you could see the titles and everything
Oh
of the
yeah.
pinball machine. So Pete's probably going to be like, "That's rare now."
And if you want to hear Qui-Gon Jinn talk about taking a piss outside, you can do that too.
Yep.
'Cause that happened as well.
It did. We had the drop for that one.
Hey, I played that.
You did.
I know, it was good. Do you want to do the body count? You
Yeah.
ready? I did it too early, the one episode, so I want to make sure.
We've talked about the movie now, so I think we can do the body count.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah. Body count, body count, body count, body count.
All right, Charlie. What is the body count of next of kin?
I want to say I think there's a missed opportunity. We should have kept the gunfire and then just had like Liam Neeson and Patrick Swayze saying "yes, sir," and "yep," "yes, sir," and "yep," with the music still going behind.
Oh,
it.
sure, yeah, that'd have been good. Yeah.
Well, we have a body count, and again with an asterisk. The
The
official,
world famous "Give Me Back My Action Movie" asterisk.
the official count comes to 12. But I want to subtract it down to 11 because we don't actually see the guy die in the snake bus. He goes in, gets scared, but it's not like he falls down. It's not like there's cobras. It's boa constrictors, garter snakes,
Might be a couple water moccasins in there,
maybe some copperheads, stuff like that. But
which are poisonous.
They are. I've killed a few of them. We don't actually see anything happen. We just see Harold looking through the window, grinning like an idiot because he's involved. But the official count is 12 if we count that guy as getting killed, or 11 when they all go, "Hey, don't forget what's his face. He's stuck in the bus over there. We
Yeah.
gotta get him out."
And probably 7 pinball machines and 1 cigarette vending machine.
At least one, and a water cooler.
And a water cooler.
He blows that water cooler up, and I love how they cut it because the way they edit it, he shot it above Joey's head, and then they cut to Joey, and I swear there was somebody above him dumping a 5-gallon bucket of water on his head.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was just like, that was still funny. I liked it.
And he shot a bunch of Chinese food too.
He hates Chinese food.
He hates
That
Chinese
was
food.
such.
That was pretty funny. Oh, all right. Well, we did the body count. We talked about it. You want to do the Leongs? You want to go right into that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking like we've actually covered this movie, and especially for as we've digressed. Yeah, I think we're ready to do the Leongs. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I love it. So we alternated last time when we did our double feature.
I don't know whose turn it is. Go ahead.
I say I still live in the hills, so I'll
Yeah,
go
so you get to
first.
go first. There you go.
So I think I'm going to be like you. I think we're going to have an unusual take on this movie. If I have to rate this as just an action movie, like the show is about, um, it's like a 5.5 or a 6. I'll give it a 6 because there was some stuff I really, really liked on it. Add in all the emotion of the movie itself and how well the movie is done and the emotion it stirred for me, it's like a 7.5 if I add all that together. Um, so action movie 6, movie I would recommend 7.5. It's a little weird, but I feel like this one
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to divide that because your normal run of the mill guy is not going to have the same kind of emotion we have to this movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's an asterisk on this one. It's
It's an
as far as
asterisk episode.
asterisk episode. This is the asterisk episode. The movie was filmed well. It was made good. It made good. Um, it was made well. I enjoyed the movie. It is not a traditional 80s action film
No.
by any stretch of the imagination.
It's really not.
There's some good gunplay in it.
The last
And,
10 minutes is your action movie.
There's a train chase scene, pretty cool.
That was actually kind of cool.
So, yeah, I'm gonna give it 4.5, 5 action movie. So it's not a great action movie.
No, it's fair. Yeah,
But again, like you said, this movie felt home.
Yes.
I felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt it. And I gotta get, my better half to make some cornbread now and some beans and stuff at the house. I want to give it a 7 as an overall film. Something I enjoyed quite a bit. Glad we watched it. We want you to watch it if you have not.
This gets high remarks from us for everyone should watch this movie.
Yes.
We know not everyone's going to like it like we did, though. We get
sure,
that,
of course.
but it is a good movie.
Now, at one time, Helen Hunt plays the violin, obviously, and Patrick Swayze's running around with a shirt on because he's getting ready to get him some. But he starts playing her violin like a fiddle, and he plays a rendition of the Orange Blossom Special. And of course, that's Orange Blossom, the Orange Blossom Special by Flats and Scruggs. And as we finish up this episode, this was our Thanksgiving episode. I want to give thanks to all of you that listen to this show and interact with us on Facebook and all their socials. Years ago, I went to school to be a radio broadcaster. I now plunge toilets and change smoke detector batteries for a living, but
he doesn't plunge that many toilets. Don't let him fool you like that.
Too many. So, first of all, if you're an adult, plunge your own toilet. Second of all, Charlie and I wanted to do a podcast for a while because I still loved broadcasting and I wanted to do something. And Charlie had started the Action Facebook group, and we decided to do this podcast, not knowing if anyone would listen to it, wondering if 2 or 3 of our friends would listen to it.
Yep.
And so far, the response has been surprising.
Oh, absolutely.
And quite encouraging. And I want to personally thank every one of you who have listened, have responded on the groups, on the socials, have recommended it, have told anyone else. If you've been on the show, if you've recommended a topic for us or a movie for us, I just want to say thank you because I still get to do something that I really love and enjoy doing, and that's audio broadcasting of some sorts.
Even if he doesn't always like the movies I pick.
Yeah, some of them are dog shit.
Although
some of them are too.
No. To Danka. Uh inside joke from some of our feedback.
So again, I want to thank you guys for listening. I also want to thank, as we do every week, Sludgecast. We want to thank the Good Beer Bad Movie Night podcast and Live and in Living Color with Wolfie D. They're all part of the family now that is the Gimme Back My Podcast Network.
Yep.
Listen to those podcasts. If you don't, we will next of kin you. Thanks to Mountain Empire Comics in Johnson City and Bristol, Tennessee. Not as rural as the rural locations in next of kin. We want to say hello to our friends at Poster Smash. I can't wait to see what the next of kin poster will be for this. That'll be pretty good, probably.
Yeah, I think I really need something. James, you're going to have to get on that.
Yeah, you may have to do something on that one. Check us out on Facebook, our Facebook groups, the Give Me Back My Action Movie group, the Give Me Back My Horror Movie group, the Give Me Back My Network group. Get on there. Check out Good Beer Bad Movie Nights, Wolfie D's. Check out Monster Movie Stomp Down.
Yep.
And get on all those. Check us out on Instagram. Charlie runs that. And of course, you can email us at gmbmampod@gmail.com.
Yes.
Charlie, you got anything?
I was trying to think. You got to say what you're thankful for, and I was wondering what I was. I guess I'm. If I have to do it unprepared, I'm thankful I get to talk about something I'm passionate about, and I am passionate about action movies, movies in general that I enjoy, and I get to do it with my best friend and Nate.
That's the Nate drop now.
Is that how the Nate drop?
Yeah.
Thankful for Nate. We get to do the horror show. Thankful for
he's all right.
Our friends we've made in the podcast network. I'm thankful for our followers, our listeners, and I'm just going to echo what Dan said. Anytime we get feedback from you guys, it's just fuel for the soul. It makes us feel like we're not talking into the void when someone, matter of fact, somebody just shared today that they wanted to watch Free Jack again after we talked about it.
Yeah.
And as they watched it, they figured out that all of the yells and a couple of the gunfires all start with the James Brown
How?
Ha! And he played me a couple clips, and I'm like, holy shit, he's right. It's like, wow, I feel good without the feel good part. So if someone got shot, ow!
It's pretty good, actually, yeah.
I was like, yeah, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to get that into the group so we can share that to everybody. Also, my episode with the Jacked Up review show with Cameron, the Linda Hamilton is live, and in a few days, maybe a week, hopefully after you've heard this, both of my episodes will be up and going. I did another episode about his name, Luke Besson. There it is, Luke Besson, the guy that did Fifth Element. So go check out Cameron's show, the Jacked Up Movie Review Show. He's in the group. He's super active in it.
I did an episode on that show.
You did, and
I don't know when it's coming out.
Cameron records things way ahead of time. Like I recorded these in the spring, and they're coming out now. And it's his process. He puts out a lot of content. Bravo, dude! I couldn't keep up with what he does. He sent me next year's schedule, and I'm like, give me a day or two to look through this so I can pick which ones I want to do.
Pretty much what I told him. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, dude, I don't know.
But go check out Cameron's stuff. He is he is part of the group as well. We include him and everything. So thank you all, and hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. Eats lots of food.
Everyone, from our family to yours, remember, you can have everything you want at Alice's restaurant except Alice. Charlie, you got anything?
I'll be back.
I knew you'd say that.